Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast on a mission to change the way the world eats. My name is Shurina. I'm a certified nutritionist, nutrition and health coach, helping people to learn how to use nutrition and some lifestyle adjustments, of course, as a tool to feel better, look better, do your work better, and live your life better. Nutrition, food we put on our plate, that's what we're built from. And the better the quality of building material, the better the building is. Guys, yesterday I did another public talk, and it was Present Your Pitch event that they have here in Playa del Carmen in Mexico, where I am right now. And I think I now know what is the compliment that makes me the happiest. I received it from a few people. And the compliment was, you grew so much, like the confidence in the way you on stage. And I think this compliment, you can't really fake. Like, how often do people tell you, we really grew in this area? I don't think you can really fake it unless you see the growth from when you're not as good. For example, I wasn't that great. I'm still not great, but I'm better. So I wasn't that good at all when I started my first public speaking. And then now I got much better and I felt better. And on stage, I felt almost phenomenal, like excited, nervous at first, yeah, but more excited. And I delivered. I had a storyline and I didn't forget anything, and I brought emotions, and I was interacting with people that were listening to my talk. I wasn't, the best that I could possibly be. I still have a lot of space for improvement, but it was so much better, and people noticed. And so yeah, I received the compliment that I realized makes me the happiest. What makes me the happiest is when people notice that I make progress. What makes me the happiest is when I make progress. And I believe that's kind of universal for most of us. At least if you are listening to this podcast, you are into self-improvement, self-development. And this compliment that you grew, that you got better because of your work, because of how you dedicated your energy, you focus your time, I bet that compliment also makes you super happy. And guys, we can improve. We can do better. We are not a final project, right? We are always work in progress. So whatever it is you think you're not as good at, but you want to get better, you want to get good and maybe even great, then work on it. You can improve. So this is the most important message for today and for the weekend. But also let's get to some nutritional practical advice. So I'm still reading this book about cravings, why we crave things, the wrong things, and more of the right things sometimes, why we crave things, why we want to eat more very often, why our society is getting more obesity and food-related diseases. Right, so I'm reading this book about cravings, and I realized why I personally do not have any cravings anymore. I used to have a lot. Even when I transitioned to healthier foods and products, I still would overeat. And I couldn't understand why. Like, why would I overeat if I'm already eating a great balanced diet and I still find myself in a situation where I eat more than is reasonable? Like, for example, I could eat 3-4 chocolate bars sweetened with stevia. Yeah, they had less calories. They were all natural and sweetened with stevia, and there was ton of fiber. And on paper, it was all good for me. But why couldn't I stop after eating an ounce of chocolate? And why can I stop now eating 100% chocolate? And the answer seems to be, and by the way, guys, that goes for a lot of other foods. The problem is our food system, our food supply today is, a lot of it is fake. Like, literally, they fake a lot of substances that were real in the food before, and now they're not. like different sweeteners. In UK, as I learned in the book, you can't even purchase, for example, soda, a sweetened beverage that is solely in a can, meaning, at any store, maybe from some individual suppliers, but you can't get mass-produced soda that is sweetened solely with sugar. It's always a mix with sugar and artificial sweeteners. And what studies showed that they analyzed in this book is our body does not like the mismatch. By the way, guys, if you're hearing some noise, they're again doing some work on Friday. I think Friday is a very active day here, but anyhow, so our body does not like fake stuff. If something tastes as sweet as, let's say, 75 calorie worth of sugar, it's supposed to deliver those 75 calories worth of sugar. And the brain expects that. And when you get half sugar, half artificial sweetener, and it tastes sweet as 100 calories, but you only get, let's say, 50, the brain doesn't like it. And it feels, what they hypothesize, that the brain is at loss, and so it needs to compensate to get the sweetness and caloric intake match. And that's why we start craving more, but we cannot metabolize it properly. And then our brain starts feeling like we are missing out on nutrition, in that case on calories. But that might be happening also because of added vitamins and minerals in foods that normally do not have them, like maybe fortified flour or fortified bread or cookies. But it's not just about, guys, being at a loss. The body, our brain, they don't like unpredictability. So when, for example, sometimes you drink soda and you get 75 calories, sometimes you drink it and you get 50 calories. Sometimes you eat bread that has fortified vitamins added to them, and sometimes you eat it and it does not have anything. And so this unpredictable thing about our fake foods, it stimulates dopamine that kind of likes unpredictable things, that stimulates the production of dopamine. And dopamine is the molecule, the neurotransmitter of drive, of wanting more, of craving more. And so that unpredictability that is now in our food supply, because we have a lot of fake stuff, that makes us that stimulates our dopamine and makes us want more of things, of a lot of things, not just food, but in general, craving more and more stuff. That unpredictability, that's what drives cravings and overeating. Your brain just doesn't know when and where it gets anything anymore. You can sometimes eat strawberries that taste obviously like strawberries, and sometimes you drink some protein shake that tastes like strawberry but has nothing to do with strawberries except for chemicals that make it taste like strawberry, right? And so back to my story. I used to have a lot of cravings, even with healthy foods, and I couldn't figure out why is that. And I don't know what made me decide to make the switch, but one day I decided I'm not going to be eating any fake foods anymore. So no stevia sweetened anything, no cookies that are keto but don't have any actual sugars, or there is a lot of emulsifiers or something else. Like on paper they sound all good, no added sugars and certain vitamins and minerals and no flour and low carb, but they taste totally like a lot of carbs. And I thought they were okay, but then I couldn't stop eating them. And I always felt like there must be something wrong with my willpower or my drive to eat. But you know what I learned since I quit all these artificial foods? Like literally, in my fridge, in my pantry, there is nothing that has added flavorings, adding emulsifiers, adding weird ingredients that I would never find in anyone's kitchen. Like there is little nothing. There are no products. There are only real foods that I eat, I snack on, I cook with them. And all of a sudden I find myself in a situation where I don't crave things. Like literally, I do not crave anything. And when I eat, I feel it really, really well when I'm done and I'm no longer hungry and I don't want to eat. I don't have an urge anymore to overeat on anything. Literally, zero. And that's coming from a person who could eat a kilo of chocolate without any tea in one sitting, who could stuff themselves, like I'm talking about myself, with a kilo or more of cookies and different kinds of foods. And yeah, of course, added sugars and high palatability and the processed nature of foods, even natural foods, it also makes a difference. It's so much easier to overeat on a cake than on a piece of steak and broccoli, obviously, right? So that also matters. But what I also learned, and it seems like the science is catching up now, that it doesn't matter what the label says, how low in sugars, in fats, and this and that, or how high in protein and certain vitamins the food is. The more fake the stuff is, the more it's gonna screw up your eating habits. And so, guys, today your assignment is to look in your fridge, look in your pantry, look in your freezer, everywhere. Look at all of the foods and substances, food-like substances that you consume. Look at them and read all the ingredients. And if there is stuff that you don't understand, ingredients that you would never cook with, that you never encountered, and those ingredients might be emulsifiers, might be sweeteners, artificial, and not so much, because stevia is completely natural, but it's a kind of like sweet taste that also doesn't give calories. So I'm now on the edge about any added sweeteners. Anyhow, so look at all the foods and food products. And number one, look at the ingredients. If you don't understand something, that's probably not good for you, to be honest. At least in the long run, it's not going to kill you, but you might be having cravings because of that. Look at all of those weird ingredients. And then look at your foods in general. Like, how many products do you eat? Start switching to whole foods. The wholer the better. Meaning not made out of flour, not made into some sort of juice, smoothie, extract shot, not butter, like even not butter. Yeah, eat almonds, not almond butter. The closer you are to whole foods, raw and cooked, the better control of your eating habits you're gonna have. And I'm probably going to be adding this aspect more and more into my clients' programs too, especially the ones who are struggling with cravings and eating habits and overeating on certain things, because it seems that it really does matter for our brain and our eating habits, not just how much sugar or calories or fat there is, but also what kind of ingredients there are and how natural or not natural they are, and also how processed the food is and in what combinations. It all matters, and we are at the very beginning on discovering on how all these different and ingredient combinations affect our, first of all, appetite and hunger, but then also long and short term physical and mental health. Because as I mentioned today, for example, these fake foods that the brain cannot predict the nutrition content of, or nutrition density or caloric density, they stimulate our dopamine. But when you get dopamine that is always stimulated, you also develop cravings for a lot of other things in life. You might start gambling or having some shopping spree kind of like behaviors when you can't control the amount of things you buy or want, or you can't control your spending or your relationship. Those neurotransmitters, they don't just affect one aspect of our life, like our hunger, but also all the other aspects. And so be real, guys, with your food And that might just help you to be real in your life too. On a side note, what I noticed about my relationship with food and how it changed, it also affected how my life changed, how my personality changed. Like for me, I'm so true to myself and I value that in other people. I don't like games, any sorts of fake image that a lot of people project these days for no good reason, really. And I guess because I got so real with my food, I kind of got real with myself and with trying to bring into my life people and work and things that are also real, that do not project any image or persona or I guess to cut the long story short, eating real food made me more real and made life and people and circumstances, environment around me also more real, true, and also so much deeper and more engaging and satisfying. And that's what I want to say today, guys. So cravings. If you are struggling with cravings, with overeating, look into the ingredients, and instead of going on a diet or trying to exercise your willpower, try to get back to basics. Eat real food, not products. If you need help with that, you're identifying what are products and what are real foods, please get in touch with me. You can find information how to get in touch with me in the show notes. And share this episode with another person who might be struggling with cravings and overeating of certain things. Share this episode with maybe a person who is eating a lot of products also, and tell them, that it might be affecting their eating behavior and their life as well. So share. That's the best, the most valuable thing that you can do for me. If I were to ask something, share this episode, this podcast. I'm going to be delivering more and more value, and I promise you I'm going to get better at speaking, at delivering practical value, and bringing you the best the world of nutrition and health has to offer. And that being said, have an awesome weekend ahead. Plan something exciting, refreshing, and restorative. And obviously, till next time, eat better daily. And don't forget to also prepare for the week ahead some healthy food. So even if you are rushed, you still end up eating something that is truly nourishing and good for you. Less fake, more real. And I'll talk to you on Monday.